Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to the next tutorial. In this one, we're going to be going over input. So go ahead and right click core, new, class, and we're going to name the class input. So the first thing we're going to do is implement a key listener interface. So type implements key listener. And then just hover over key listener, type import key listener, and then hover over your class name and add the unimplemented methods. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the comments. So the first thing to note is that we're not going to be using this key typed method just because we don't need to. And we're going to be making some variables to represent our keys. So I'm going to type public static final int left equals 0. And then I'm going to do right, up, and down. And then after I do those, I'm also going to do the spacebar. And now I'm going to make an array of booleans that represents each of our keys. So I'm going to type public static boolean and then keys equals new boolean. And we have 5 types of input, so I'm going to type 5 here. Okay, so now that we have this, we can actually implement our methods now. So I'm going to type if e.getKeyCode equals key event dot vk underscore left. I'm going to go to our keys array and set the left to true. And then I'm going to implement the rest of these. Okay, so now that I implemented all the rest of these, I did the exact same thing I did in the first one, except I used else ifs. I'm just going to copy and paste this whole block of code and paste it in the key released. And then when the key is released, I'm going to set the boolean to false. So I'm going to do that for each of the keys. So now as you see, when a key is pressed, the corresponding element in our array is going to be set to true. And then when that key is released, the corresponding element is going to be set to false. So I actually messed something up here. I typed 1 instead of right. So let me go ahead and fix these numbers and put in our static final integers. Now that I fixed that, it made our code a lot easier to read because we can see that we're checking or that we're setting our right key to be true and so on. So if we run the program at this point, our input is actually not being detected because we have to add this key listener to the window. So let's go back to the entry class, and then underneath where we instance the window, we're going to do window.add key listener, and then we're just going to pass in our input class. So new input, and that's what I did right here. And then to check if our input's working, I'm just going to type an if statement here. So if input.keys, and then I'm going to pass in what key I want to check. In this case, I'm going to check the down arrow. And if it's true, I'm just going to print hello world. And so if I test it and I click the down arrow, you can see that it prints hello world. So to show how I'm going to use this in the game, I'm going to program the right, down, left, and so forth. So this is an example of how we might use this in our game. Of course, when we press the down button, we wouldn't print down, we would actually move the ship down. But just to show that this is working, I know that you can't see my hands, but I'm currently clicking the left arrow. Now I'm clicking the right arrow, the up, the down, and if I click the space bar, you can see that it says shoot. So I'm gonna delete this because it's not necessary. And now we know that our input is working. So anyway, that's it for this one. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.